Hello and welcome to episode 22 of our Timberborn Update 6 Waterbeavers playthrough here in Cycle 23, Day 2. Tempered Cycle currently. After last episode's, I guess just general good progress all around. Not really a whole lot of specific stuff laser focused, but we have managed to get a ton of little things done. And today we're going to do a little bit more of that with perhaps a little bit more of a focus on power production and a little bit of metal as well. Finally managed to understand a comment that was left many episodes ago talking about how to get up to these ruins, and yes, friends, it is literally as simple as just going up here once we get all the rest of this taken care of. So we do have that option available to us. We also can come over here and put in some more water wheels, generate more power, including during the bad tides, with all of the spillage coming through here and here that isn't going to go into our main area. And I think that's going to be a nice thing to focus on, try to clean some other areas up as well. But one of the most exciting things going to happen today is this mechanized water pump is only waiting on some coal, and that's it. And once it has all of that, it can operate autonomously and just has to be unloaded by our hauling beavers. So that is very exciting. And we have a couple of other small things to fix as well. Obviously this water amount going down is not what we'd like to see. We would love to have as much pumping occurring as possible. So we'll get those back unpaused. We'll slowly convert the rest of these over to the deep water pumps that pump 33% faster per building with the same amount of labor, but that will just take time. Of course, we have other stuff to worry about as well. But I digress. Get this thing on triple speed and let them do what they need to do. There's a couple of other things I guess we could talk about in the meantime. That is, yes, I did have a gap in the fence here that I did not manage to take care of, but that will be dealt with in due time. Just go ahead and put this fence gate here so this doesn't spread any further that way. We do need to have a pretty healthy supply of bramble flowers just so we can continue doing everything we're trying to do. So I don't mind that they're all over here. It's just one of those things that is maybe a little bit less obvious. But we can go ahead if I can click on this. Come on. Come on, let me... No. Let me click on this thing. Come on. There we go. Just get rid of those. Because we do have this guy here that is, well, once this is reconnected with the help of the fence gate, taking care of all of these. And we also have some access to the ruins over here if we really want to, but I think for right now everything is looking just fine. Food is maybe deceptively good looking here because we have 1,100 rice balls that we can continue making more and more and more of those. But right now the focus probably should be on making fried rice, which thankfully everything seems to be going pretty well here, minus the whole situation with the sunflower seeds, because those can only be produced so quickly, and it turns out that we actually are just about out of screw press axle durability over here. So this one definitely still needs to be making screw press axles. We have 3 of those, but we don't have a storage for them. So that should be a priority sometime soon-ish. Just not a lot of great opportunities for, organizing stuff over here. Let's just make sure what this goes in. Screw press axle is going to have to go in a pile. That's right. So I will put that here just so it has somewhere to go. Get the rest of those in there so we don't have to worry about it quite so much. This one here does not need to be making planks anymore. It needs to be making sawdust. Because, remember, we have our rudimentary sawmill operating once again. Crude saw blade storage also does not seem like a thing that exists in a useful location. I do have 20 of them stored over here. But that's because that's where these... Actually, no, that's not where those are being made. I don't know why that's stored over there. It should be stored over here. And I have the perfect place to do it right here. I built the wrong building again. Never remember which one of these buildings that goes in, but that can go there. Very, very easily. Just get that emptied out. And this can instead be used to store something else that we find maybe a little bit more useful. But right now I don't have any other reason to keep that empty, so I guess we'll just do that. Make sure this is ready to go, nice and simple. We do have our log storage, we have our plank storage in this general area, so everything seems to be doing just fine. Now, let's go back into single time speed. One, because it helps me think better. Apologies to those of you who want it to go quickly, but this area here is technically not flooding right now, but it's real close. It's really close, and I can't put anything here unless it's a house. So, I'm gonna say instead, we need to blow up this one right here. Actually, all three of these probably would be the easiest thing to do. Remember, we have to have 2 edges to take care of all of these, and this will give us those 2 edges, in addition to making it possible to not come over the side here. So that is going to require a little bit more construction here, which is probably not going to be a super quick one, but it's fine because we have technology on our side, kind of. Maybe, depending on how you want to look at it. So if I were to put that there, I were to put that there, then put that there, then they'll be able to access all 3 of these. Is it a little overkill? Maybe, but it's going to work, and that is what matters. Aside from that, we do still have plenty of research that needs to be done that we have been kind of putting off. Let's not forget, we're trying to get into the balloons sooner rather than later, so that we can trade with folktales, so we can get the exotic seeds, so that we can come in here and build the tree nursery. Now granted, we do still have to have 1,000 science to make that happen, but if we are prepared in advance, then everything is going to be so much easier to deal with. And it's 10 trips in the balloon to get all those 50 seeds, and of course each of those things have to blah blah blah, so on and so forth. The biggest obstacle to that now is that we do not have the balloon trader landing pad constructed. We do have it researched. We have blueprints. In fact, I think, I can't ever remember which one of these is which. Yeah, we have 14 of these blueprints. I don't think we're going to need any more of those for a while. So if we build this before we need it, then we can also unlock the scouting balloon. That's only 350 science, and we have 306 right now, so things are looking okay. We can get those scouting points, and then we can get this unlocked and built as well. So before we do that, just check out what's going on here. It's these brain boosting salts that are holding us back. Those do of course have to be built when the alchemist, which is currently making tar, because the tar goes into making one of these things, unless I just completely fumbled the bag here. Well, regardless, we need to make this, so this is what it is. We're making strong alcohol that we don't have a storage space for, from the chestnut beer here. So once that gets offloaded, then that's going to work nicely. Just got to get more of that stuff going. I know we have these brain-stimulating mushrooms, but that is half as efficient as this thing here to operate with the brain-boosting salts. So we're just going to let it be what it's going to be. This is set to deprioritize, but we aren't taking anybody out of there quite yet because everything else is working just fine. Water amounts have not increased stupendously, but remember, we're getting very close, as soon as we get enough coal, to being able to have this mechanized pump operating. Aha! Well, that's probably what the problem is right here, is I only had 7 beavers working on this. These are both getting coal. Some of this coal, in theory, should also be going into the primitive smelter to make scrap metal, but for the time being, I do think it's more important to have that operating, so that should be fine there. We do have scrap metal very easily accessible here, and that's all looking good. So where does that leave us now? As I've said before, we've solved a lot of problems. We have created other problems in the process of solving those problems. But all of this can be improved if we manage to increase the well-being. Just a tiny bit. The average is 14. You guys have been pointing this out as well. The average is 14. You click on this any given beaver, they have the 16, which gives them the working speed that they get at 15. Gives them the well-being 12 speed movement boost, and then for life expectancy, not quite the other plus 20 to get to plus 40 on that. So if we can increase even just this average by like a point or 2 points, we're going to have beavers live a whole lot longer, which means less time spent as children, more adult beavers at once, and they're going to be happier, healthier, and work a lot longer. So it's always kind of been a problem with us because we've had such a terrible time with all of these different health afflictions, and we haven't had space to build various things for entertainment, so on and so forth. So it's probably easiest just to do decoration-based area of effect stuff. None of this is unlocked because I haven't really felt the justification for having the science spent on it. But we have so many different options that aren't really going to be that much. Just have to make it happen. So, this public fountain building has a very nice area of effect, 3 tiles. I don't know what the actual amount, benefit-wise, that it's going to give. But it's probably, as I say as I'm pointing to something that is not, it's probably going to be at least 2, I would hope. So if we can find a good spot for that as we continue moving things around. I know this is, again, a terrible map for this, but I chose it because I wanted this to be very, very difficult, because that tends to make the most entertaining playthroughs, I guess you could say. But we'll be identifying different opportunities we have for that as we continue going along. I'm not going to go out of my way to stop everything and do it, but it's a mindset that would be helpful for us to find ourselves in. Somebody also said that I had all of these different things disconnected pathwise, housing-wise, and I don't see it. I don't know. Oh, this is super hard to read. See, I don't see any housing that has a 0 out of 12 except this large farmhouse that is paused, and the paper mill that is paused, and this that's paused. Like, everything has beavers in it except buildings that are paused. And nothing is saying it's not connected to the path network. There's just 2 that are flooded, and we already knew this was a thing. These plank tanks don't need to be here. And go ahead and probably just get rid of those. But I also don't want it to enable these guys to get any closer, any further in here. Wait, did I see that there's more space for rice? Let's enable them to make enough use of this. That would be good. Get these guys in here. Yeah, I am just very impatient for this amount of coal to get excavated out of the earth and then popped in here. That's really, really, really going to make a huge difference. Outside of that, still waiting here with our explosives, but just about finished. So we hit B for boom on this. And that, friends, is going to make it pretty much impossible for any water, good or bad, to make it over here. And remember that this irrigation lodge has kept this area more or less, I mean, minus this part of it, idiot-proofed, for lack of a better term. So I'm going to just take a couple more of these and remove a little bit more land so we have a little bit more space for this farmhouse to plant some cabbages and all this other fun stuff, so we can continue making this ever so slightly improved. Yeah, the injuries are a problem. That's the burns. I can't even remember which ones are which. There's just, I don't have space. I don't have space to put stuff. The eternal problem. This all kind of hinges on having this this mechanized water pump ready to go. Well, there's only so much we can do. We talked last episode also about putting in a medium mine, but that has a very involved process of creating a hole for one, and that's going to require a lot of planning. Going to need to find a suitable location and do something with that. Remember, we're also going to have this connected here. That looks like it is finally able to do so, so we will put in right there, and that's going to give a direct connection to this scrap metal into this area, which should help substantially, instead of, you know, them having to go all the way around here versus just going straight in. And this area here is going to be good for farming once we can guarantee that everything planted over here survives. Not going to be that easy of a task. But what we can do, in preparation for some of that, is clear out these blockages. It's not like that's going to matter at all. And then, of course, put some water wheels in here. This whole spot is wide enough for us to have at least 2, depending on how we want to do it. Just have to think about it a little carefully and decide what we want to power here. Remember, it's Waterbeavers, so we can't just have buildings daisy-chained to each other for power production, power usage, whatever. But you take a look at the mechanical drill building. I know we can't build this, but someone did say that they have... It's so hard for me to show you this. You see, I can't do it yet. The little nub right above the center of the text box there on both sides of this building now instead of just one, so we can technically daisy chain these. We just have to get there. And that, of course, will take a decent amount of time. Just really, really wish this would go quicker. So we have 2 balloons. This one here has been making dynamite, and we've exhausted all of our nitroglycerin, so it's probably safe to go ahead and say, after this guy has made enough brain-boosting salts, which then the amount that is quote-unquote enough is probably infinite. But we can't do that. We need to make a little bit more science so we can unlock everything else I want to do with the balloons in one go. And then after that, I do want to make some more nitroglycerin, because remember, we have to have the medium mine to get quartz, which is what we have to put into the factory to make more laboratory glassware so we can make more alchemists, so we don't have to keep changing this around so much. It is, in fact, a process. So, I've got how many? I have 39 mechanical drill blueprints. Okay, that is ridiculous. That does not need to be going on anymore. That can be paused. That can also be paused. Well, I mean, it doesn't cost anything to make... Oh, I have 44 of them. Okay. It doesn't cost anything to duplicate these. It's just wasted manpower. Now, the oversized fancy water pump, we do have 10 of those, so that's totally fine. Beaver washing machines. How many of those do I have? I always forget. I have 20. Okay, that's way too many. We need to probably next either do the ENS or the Super Fertilizing Irrigation Tower blueprint, and that's a whole thing. I have to remember what building that goes in. This guy here? Yeah, let's do this one. Let's do this one. Open up this Architect's Lodge, which they will, of course, come into when the day breaks here. Aha! This is not able to be connected. Let's take that out. I do have to remove these stairs, but we'll have to let them take care of what they're going to take care of first. Get that thing out of here. Should not take much longer at all. That's done, and then that is connected again. Now they can start acquiring stuff. I think I've got everything I need for this. Minus the metal fasteners might be a little bit of a slow process, but I can pretty easily turn this back on. I just want to have all of the coal in here, because this is going to be super important. Super important. I really want to have that before we have the next drought or bad tide. And like you guys said in the comments, this building will automatically turn off, quote-unquote, when these water wheels are not turning. So we have no danger of having this just completely pump this whole area dry during a drought or a bad tide, because these things are not going to be turning. So that is a very good thing for us to have access to there. 466 science, 470. I'm going to, for the sake of what we're trying to do elsewhere, switch this over to the slower recipe so we can use some of these brain-stimulating mushrooms. And then we can keep making the brain-boosting salts, because that's going to be important for some other stuff, including making the blueprints for the Super Fertilizing Irrigation Tower Lodge, Tower Bath Lodge, whatever it's called. This building is like, it's tremendous. It increases the growth of crops, and while it does not decontaminate land, it's a very good boost for areas that are never going to be threatened by contamination. So the way that this area has been developed to where this is now functionally decoupled from here, even though it's still going to be bad watered here, we have the ability, because of this irrigation lodge and this one and so on and so forth, to keep this area clean. That's something else that we could put in that would increase this growth speed of a bunch of stuff. Just have to let it be what it's going to be. But let's go ahead and get these cabbages in here. I think that gave us a little bit more space. Yeah, we got like another 6 or 7 tiles for cabbage growth, which is good. That is the correct word. I realize they can't get down here yet, but that hasn't been a tremendous concern quite yet. Just need 31 pieces of coal, and this will be good to go. How are we doing gathering materials here? Okay. Pencil sets are in place. That's good. Paper's just about there. Everything else we should not have any issues doing once we get this operating again. Just need the coal. I cannot believe how slowly this coal is going. This, of course, is much faster, but it does consume tools, whereas this one does not, and it has to be exploded. So you can clearly see why it's so important for us to do that. Just going to take some time. Yeah, the bad water amounts that we're getting are not very good. We do need to increase that production, but again, everything takes time. It is a trade-off we will have to deal with appropriately. How are we looking? 530 science. See, now we're out of berries. See, again, everything's connected. Gotta have it. Absolutely must have it. I need to have more storage for saltpeter, or any storage for saltpeter. I just don't really know where to put it. Don't have a good spot. Now, I do see you guys commenting, saying, hey, unlock the larger warehouses. But we're going to have to be careful about what we spend our science on until I can really make a ton of it. Just got to trust the process. See, now I'm out of sunflower seeds again. We really, really need to be planting more of these. Yeah, I don't really know what else to do about that. Half-fermented sake, once again. Very, very slow process getting that taken care of. Still making scaffoldings slowly. There's not been a single piece of... Okay, there it goes. The brain-boosting salt's getting brought in. I stand thoroughly corrected. Alright, 191 coal. Let's go. It's day 10. I want to have this thing running at least a tiny bit before we have our next drought or bad tide. That would be very, very nice. So bring it in here now. I'm waiting. We're not defocusing from this until everything is up and running. Don't make me regret this. Okay, 196. I see somebody coming in. Maybe. Okay, 197. Come on. Come on, 198. 199. Who's got the 200th piece? There it goes. And get that thing built up. Although, yep, you're going to go to bed. That's fine, I suppose. Just let it be what it's going to be. But this, friends, is really, really going to change stuff. Because every hour we get 10 water, and it only consumes a small amount of planks. And it doesn't employ beavers. So it can just run forever as long as it has power, and as long as it has enough power. Which, hopefully it does. So now we just have to have them come and finish the last 7%. Oh, perfect, just in time. 3 days till the drought. We need to get more water pumped. This is just in time. 99, 100. There she goes. And it's not completely powered, but it's still, once it's going to have planks in place, going to be doing quite well. Now, why do I not have an option to prioritize by haulers here? That's what I'd like to know. Where's my planks going to go? Who's going to bring them in there? Did I miss something? Ah, there it is. it hadn't shown up because I hadn't deselected the building first. All right, come on, come on. We have very limited time. Somebody come in here and take care of this, please, and thank you. Oh boy. Well, I need to build more water storage because we only have enough for slightly less than 2,000, which is like 5 days worth, and we could have 9. So that is a problem that needs to be solved. I obviously would love to have the giant buried tanks, but that's a lot of science that I don't currently have the ability to dedicate to this. So, seeing how there's not really a whole lot of other options for any amount of water storage, basically anywhere else, gonna have to get creative here. Let's see, what is storage for clay? That's not really a terrible spot for it, but well, this also holds 250. I guess that's fine. I don't want to get rid of these either. Are these even reachable by one of the gatherer flags? I actually don't think so. This one obviously is not going to reach all the way over there, but the only other one I know of is... yeah, there's nobody gathering these berries at all. I mean, it's not a ton of them, but maybe that's something we can think of. Plank tank there, I guess, is fine. Well... it's probably too late now to have something built before we get to that mess, but... we also need to have floodgate dams over here so we can actually, you know, force all of the nice clean water to come through here. So probably... yeah, right here is going to be the correct place to put this. That is more of these to keep up with. Well, I have the actually no, I'm not going to build this right now because I don't have the tar for it, and that would be a better thing to spend that on. Okay, brain boosting salts. I know I have enough for this at this point. Still waiting on metal fasteners. I did say I was going to have that turned on. All right. So I guess go to work there. Well, could be worse. This is like drinking through a fire hose most of the time. You're not going to get it all in, and if you do, it's going to kill you anyway, so... see, I put the primitive saw blade storage in. I did the terrain fix there. Had this set to make sawdust. I guess probably one of the only other things specifically mentioned directly in the comments of the last video was to get the path in here, but we don't need that quite yet. We do still have this. But we have entered that into our idea database at the very least. So now it's we still have all these food problems to take care of. I think most of them seem to be built around now sunflower oil, which not going to be that easy for us to grow too much more of those. We're using basically everything we have right now, so probably what's going to make the most sense. Notice I didn't say complete sense. It's going to be to just start growing stuff elsewhere, but I need to be able to guarantee that it doesn't get poisoned. Like, this is a good place for brambles until we can domesticate those. This is still kind of far away. I know I need to do different districts, but I have not had the time to sit there for a couple hours and mess with that. We got plenty of rice. That needs to be harvested. I'm afraid to unleash this thing because it's always going to, you know, destroy all that. We have so much rice. If I just had more rice ball storage, we could just produce those infinitely, but I don't have a lot of, good places to stick that. I guess, you know, I really, I hate to just be, basic whatever you want to call me about this, but I think it's just going to have to be the really boring safe strategy of just put in a medium warehouse here and just put in more rice balls and then continue getting this stuff just stacked. I know we have bad water here. Theoretically, it shouldn't poison the beavers. Why are you coming down here, you stupid idiot? Okay, well, that's because I have stairs here. Alright, well, I can't really be angry at them for that, but I will take those stairs away so this doesn't happen again. But yes, having storage over here for rice balls would be a smart thing, considering this is accessible there. See, I guess this really would be a decent place. Alright, let's first of all pause this so we don't lose any more water. This one, not relevant to pause, but this one I do need to pause so the rest of this doesn't flow out the back. Alright, so now this has stopped. It is full, at the very least. But this has stopped, which means this has also stopped, which means we can pause it. Now I have all of these things that are going to be trying to pump water for 8 days. Let's pause all of the expansion things here. Pause both of those. Going to have a few homeless beavers, but it's going to be pumping much, much less. We gotta find somewhere else for these guys to go. Alright, so now we just need paper, which I thought we had. I thought we had enough paper. That's gonna be a problem if that's what we're waiting on. Okay, this is full of paper but does not have nitroglycerin, so this can be paused. We'll get that 100 paper out. That'll get us there on the paper, and then that can start the 12.5 days of research on the super fertilizing irrigation tower bath blueprints. That's good. And we have 644 science. And we have 2 balloons. So I think what's going to happen now is we can go ahead and unlock the balloon trader landing pad. We can find ourselves a place to put this. Now this is a perfect building to stick in an area that has terrible, terrible prospects for being used for anything else. Just keep in mind that when you're using the balloons, they do have to be supplied with whatever supplies that you're going to use to trade with, and they have to be unloaded, so it can't be super far away. But if you have difficult terrain that you can somewhat easily adapt with the use of platforms, where you can run paths through the center of the design, it's actually kind of a smart design. You take a look at the footprint of this thing. It's 5 by 5, but it has the space through the exact middle, the third tile on each side. So you can have it straddle pathways if you have them laid out in a way that, you know, makes any amount of sense whatsoever, which I could go ahead and just reroute this and have one of these guys here. It's probably not the worst place to do right now. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and do that. I may have to fiddle with this just a touch. But yeah, that will fit right here. I think it can actually go on top. Oh, you know what? I probably didn't have to mess with this at all. I could have just put in a platform here. I'm pretty sure. Bear with me, folks. Bear with me here. Saw someone leave a comment that they joking that they were disappointed I didn't say beaver with me instead of bear with me. So I'm not going to promise that I'm going to remember to say that, but you can adjust that in your heads to mean that if you choose. But now we have this balloon trader landing pad that, yes, technically is taking up farmable space, but is also not completely just ridiculously far out of the way. And on top of this, to start, we will, of course, have to put a scouting balloon, which will get unlocked there. And then there is a specific way this has to be set up. You see these little nubs here. It'll go there, or it'll go here. I don't really think it matters. Probably just depends on which way you want the routes to go. But I'm going to put that guy right there, and he's going to be scouting. You'll notice we have space underneath here to put in different storages based on what you're doing with this. So, again, the scouting balloon consumes methane, the pencil sets, and paper. So it's going to make sense. The methane has to be stored in the gas tank, which does have to be researched separately. But I don't want to build one of those yet. I'm going to put in over here, just so we can maintain access through this side, a storage for pencil sets. And then, again, as we can maintain storage through that side, I'll put in one here for paper. Set to obtain. And these can be swapped out however we want later. But this will get us started on the scouting points. And then, of course, we can continue reclaiming some space here with some platforms to put additional balloon trader landing pads in spots that won't necessarily be huge losses for farming purposes. Because now that this has been completely poison-proofed, this would be a great place, assuming we're far enough away from this river, for an eventual super fertilizing irrigation tower bath, which would allow us to grow some nice crops in this area. So, recognizing that, I'm going to go ahead and say let's get rid of these trees. I'm not going to have anybody come in here and cut these down because I feel like that is a waste of beaver labor at this point in time. But I can go ahead and put in some more platforms here. We'll put another one of these balloon trader pads right there. Still reasonably close. I'm going to need to, I know this is going to be potentially unpopular, but I'm going to need to just have these retract their straws. We have to remember that we've done this, but I can't really close any more of these without causing problems. At least with our beaver housing or whatever. So if I have all of these, with the exception of this one paused, it's going to evaporate a lot less. Remember, we still have 7 days. I can turn these back on before the end of the drought cycle. I don't want to lose the river baths because then the beavers are dirty and they don't want to do anything. That's, you know, nobody has a good time with that. We have so much rice over here. We really need to have more storage for rice. We really need to have more consumption for rice, which means we need to have more storage for rice balls. And that is going to require that we research the additional warehouses. We do technically have the science for, but I do think I'm going to go ahead. I know we can't do anything yet with it. I'm going to go ahead and research the Folktales balloon because we need to make sure that's ready to go ASAP. Remember, we have to have methane for that. We have to have enough for 10 batches, which means we have to have 200 methane. We currently have 228. And the scouting balloon has to have enough methane to make, I think, 10. Yeah, 10 of these. So we have to have a total of 400 methane, which means we're going to need to convert one of these back into making methane. We have nenuphars. We are continuing to farm them. This one has nothing going in it anyway, so let's go ahead and get that situated back here. I think I've got... oh, there's no nenuphars stored anywhere, huh? Okay. Well, that's going to be fine, I suppose. We have all these over here. We have 200 some lotus flowers. I know these are both paused. I'm kind of tempted to let them take some of these out. Let's get these gather flags going. Take a bunch of these lotuses. I need to have them plant lotuses instead of harvest them. These are the closest spots available, so I think, I don't know, but I think they should be able to start planting these at the very least, and I'll just pause it if they start taking these away. But we do need to continue growing more of these. So that could mean... Oh, I clicked it too early. Could mean just pausing this extremely fast once they take care of all of that. I want to make sure they get the flowers out, but don't take all of the plants completely down. And pause. Close enough. I don't want to risk it any more than that. Yeah, that should work pretty nicely. These guys, of course, are going to take some time. We can continue expanding this if we feel so inclined. Not necessarily required to do that, but regardless, this needs to have a whole lot more nenuphars. There's no workers available, so if we prioritize it, we can bring somebody in here. I don't know why this one wasn't prioritized before, but I'd like for them to use these before they get eaten. That'd be tremendous. I guess I need to have storage for those. So many problems, so little time. So I don't really have a great spot. I guess I'm just going to have one of those there. That would be the easiest, least painful way to do that. So we have 24 in here. hopefully they can get some more sometime soon. If not, then that's going to be something else we have to deal with. But we did harvest those, so that's good. We're still making some science here. We just don't have the berries for it. Again, all of these problems will be solved eventually once we can get that tree nursery going. Don't tell me I'm out of gears, really? Okay, well, Mechanics Lodge can get turned back on then. Make some more gears. Getting kind of low on planks. I'm hoping that doesn't cause problems here. That is full of planks. I guess I could go ahead and pause this, so we're not using those planks for that. This, 9% of the way through the super fertilizing blah 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 blah. I guess they're going to bring stuff in, but I don't have it prioritized, so I guess that's fine. That is not currently a problem. Okay, metal fasteners should be good to go there. Yep, just needs the one gear, and then she'll be ready to go. I can start building the next one as well, which will fit perfectly in here. I always forget how long it takes to make gears. 10 hours. 10 hours to make gears. What a lot of gears. A lot of time for gears. Okay, could be potentially an unpopular decision here, but I'm going to have to reactivate this and take some of these Nenifars out, just so we can, you know, do what we've got to do. Long term, we're going to be fine. I'm not worried about it. But for the greater good, etc., so on and so forth, just going to have to let them take these out. Because remember, it's never going to get polluted again, unless something completely terrible happens. So let them cycle through a whole bunch of those. That's all right. We haven't used all of these anyway because we don't have all of our sunflower oil. Although, honestly, this is looking pretty good except for the green peas. The eternal cycle of never having enough food. Okay. Brain stimulating boost, whatever the... I always get those confused. It's looking okay. Okay, this is done. Now this gets built. We do have the balloon. I think it's en route now. Then that will have to be supplied with paper and pencil sets and the methane. So we do still have some time. It's not a fast process. Like, each trip on this guy takes 10 hours, so it's a minimum of 200 hours. No, 100 hours. Why does that say it's not accessible by paths? Why does it say it's not accessible by paths? Oh, there's a second door. Okay. Never mind. Now it's accessible. So pay no attention to the animation, just kind of happens. The animation does not mean that a beaver is actually on its way out. It just does that. So now this can hold up to 200 methane. It can hold up to 80 paper, up to 20 pencil sets, but it's only ever going to use 10, 4, and 1, respectively. And it'll hold 20 of the sky exploration documents, points, whatever you want to call them. Okay, water's getting pretty low. 4 days left. I think I can justifiably turn a couple of these back on. Remember, this isn't going to be working unless it has power. Now I want to see... Okay, we got 85. That'll give us 60. So we need to make 4 full batches of this, I think. We might be able to get away with 3 because I did have some extra, but I'm going to have them make 4 full batches. So once that says 90, which it may already, then I can turn this back off. I've got 84 there. Yeah, I'm going to pause that. The rest of these can just get grown back. I know it's going to take 12 days, but that's fine because we haven't used all of the lotus flowers anyway. So I think that was worthwhile. That was an acceptable trade-off to make. Just got to get the methane transported over there. I know it doesn't have an actual storage building, but it shouldn't have a problem actually getting over here, hopefully. So before we get any further, we're down to 200. I'm going to have to turn these back on, which can very easily be done just by unchecking that box. And let them continue pumping. I'm not going to turn the actual upgrades back on, because that is another job, first of all. But 3.6 days is not going to sink our colony if we have all of these straws pumping again. That should help, hopefully, a little tiny bit. All these homeless beavers. I'd like to avoid having too many homeless beavers. Everything else, I mean, I can't run this at all unless I have power. Everything else is looking fine. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and send our beavers down into, I guess I could come in from this side would be easier. Let's send them down into here, get these blockages undone, and then start making provisions for generating power over here. It doesn't have to come onto this side. It can go to that side. Not going to be impossible for us to make decent use out of this area, depending on how we want to wire things up. But just remember, this and this, in fact, I can place these and just pause the construction. That has to be floodgate dams. Well, it doesn't have to be, but it would help divert more power through here during the wet season, which gives us an opportunity, if we get all of these out of here, to put in 2 of these water wheels side by side. Once these are gone, then that would generate a decent amount of power. And I could put I'm going to put a couple more different ones in here. Just depends on how you want to look at it. Could do that there. We could do this especially like down here, if we had some way to actually make use of all of that power. So we have all these trees here that can be cut down. This is also going to be a decent place. Not like a perfect place, but a decent place to have another farm or some sort of processing thing, so on and so forth. Just a lot to keep in mind, and I know that's a topic of discussion. I do appreciate your feedback on all of that stuff, but right now I'm just trying to get something else accomplished here. We got to grow a whole bunch of crops, folks. Got to grow a lot. I got to get this area more refined. I did unlock the Folktales balloon already, and I wanted to make sure that was going to be good to go. So I don't have the planks to build another pad yet, but the rest of the components I just about do have. Let's go ahead and place this second one, and then place this here. Which direction that one's going? That way. Let's turn it around and go that way. I don't think it really matters. But this can be deprioritized. This can be super deprioritized. Just remember what this is going to be consuming when it goes to trade. Spicy sodas and methane. We're not making spicy sodas yet. We can, if we have additional bramble flowers, which we do not have. So I'm going to make a little tank here for the spicy sodas to go into, so that can be traded. And then the methane, of course, has to be stored in a special methane vessel. The gas tank used to be called the gas tank because, I guess, French, but if we had 70, that's 70 metal blocks. That's a lot of metal blocks. We don't have the... we have 1. If we had the ability to make that, then I would, but for right now it seems like that is not the case. That has not stopped this scouting balloon from getting fully stocked up, so I'm not concerned about that. Paper's looking good. Pencil sets, not so much. We do have the storage, they just haven't been brought over yet. I don't think that is a tremendous issue. Just need to keep an eye out, because as soon as we get even the tiniest bit of pencil sets, they will start scouting. And remember, it's 10 of these before we can even build the Folktales balloon in the first place. So that is minimum 100 in-game hours, which I don't have to tell you how many days that is. Just gotta have those pencil sets brought in, which currently no one is doing because everything takes time. At any rate, trying, maybe not super successfully, to get this taken care of before it gets to be too late. 88. Okay, we are super low on water here. Let's get all of these opened back up. Got to get that labor in place. Remember, we do have 174 beavers, so theoretically we need the equivalent of 17 pumps, which we do not have. Well, okay, we probably do, because these have the 33% boost over the normal ones. But we aren't able to upgrade them until we research this, which is 250 science, and also uses the scrap metal that I hadn't been so confident about getting quickly. So I guess the question now is it better to get the deep water pump upgrade or to build larger storages? I think the answer is storages, just because we do have this mechanized pump that can now operate. But we're about to be out of planks, because all of this stuff uses planks, and I had neglected to remember that. So 39 of our planks went into here. We got 2 days left. 2 days left without getting any more planks out of this. See, this is why this had been making planks before. And this, of course, has 2 screw press axles in it. 99% of the way done there, but I'm going to have this. There we go. Turn that back into plank making. Just so many problems. Remember also that these lotuses and these nenuphars are going to stop growing if they don't have enough water in them. So there is going to be a problem when we actually run out of all of this water, and it's going to be soon. But if it's not immediately, then I think these guys are going to be fine. The oh, okay, what's the drought resistance on this? Oh, is that an update 7 thing? I think it is. Oops. Well, I guess we're going to find out. But we absolutely cannot run out of water. Let's hit pause. Let's think about this. There are buildings that have a lot of water stored in them that don't necessarily need to be operating at all times. These mushroom growers can be paused without stopping, or without completely destroying the process of producing the mushrooms. They just won't continue growing, and we'll get the stock of water out. They don't have as much in there as I thought they would. But let's, just for right now, let's pause all 4 of these. These guys are using bad water, so it doesn't matter, and we also don't have any anyway, so it doesn't matter even more. That's fine. We're not in any danger of these crops dying because of pollution, but there's also not much water at all even stored in these to begin with. So that, I think, would not be worth our time to turn off. Yeah, I think we're just kind of in a really bad place because this didn't get built quickly enough, and we don't want this to dry out for the sake of our lotuses and our, well, the rice is a little hardier than that, but I think at this point with 1.9 days left, we're probably okay. So let's go once more to goods consumption and check out what is using water. See if there's anything else that can get turned off. So this building here, the distillery, that is completely full of pollution resistance factor, has 300 water in it. That's paused. I think that's going to solve our problem. Hopefully. So let's just let that run. They can grab that water out of there, and then these pumps can continue doing what they are supposed to be doing. How are both of these paused? Okay, well, it is what it is. That's fine, I suppose. So now we're looking okay, and this water is about to be completely gone. Remember, we can't have these beavers wash themselves anymore either. And in a short little while, we'll see this start to pop up with a little warning that it is going to be drying out. As long as it's less than 2 days, we're going to be fine. I don't remember what it was. I probably should know. I probably should have this written down somewhere. So on and so forth. You know how this goes. But it hasn't come up yet, so I guess it's going to be fine. This is a good opportunity. While we are waiting here, waiting for all this nonsense to, stop being nonsense. Good opportunity to come in here with water wheels and go ahead and build a decent number of them in preparation for what we're trying to be doing. Because they're very quick to build. They do take planks, yes. But if these are in place before there's poison water coming through here, then that's going to be that much better for everybody involved. Now, oh good, 3 days. We're so good. We are golden, even. And food is still looking okay, thanks mostly to the rice balls themselves. But I think now is going to be the time to go ahead and research the large warehouse and get started on building at least one of these. So I've got a space right here that would be perfect for that. Let's just put in a couple of these. That was strange. Get that out of there. This was an extraneous path that I pushed the wrong button on the keyboard. Good job. That's going to hold 648, which is a whole lot, and does mean that we're going to be able to, hopefully, take out or change over one or more of these into something else. We got less than a day left, down to about 130 water, so all the water is going to be gone, but it's going to be fine because we're going to get all this lovely clean water in here pretty much immediately with no problems. We're, of course, still waiting for planks, which, you know, is what it is. So let's go ahead and prepare for this by getting these beavers in here, restocking with the crude saw blades and the logs so that we can start making planks immediately as soon as we have the power. Not going to be too much longer where we're constantly surviving by the skin of our teeth, but we have made it possible, for the most part, for that to be a viable strategy, at least for the time being. So let's get those turned back on. That should be good. We're getting our water back in just a moment. And then I'm hopeful we can get floodgate dams, probably not immediately, but very, very, very soon. We still don't have a single pencil set. Oh, come on, man. Really? We don't have a single pencil set. You've been spending this entire time just doing nothing? What do you, like, what gives with the pencil sets? Oh, okay, that's not prioritized by haulers. That's probably a substantial reason why. Oh well, is what it is. Cycle 24 begins now. And so that's going to just come right back in here. We've got all these beavers that can't work because they're dirty, or they are burned, or they're diseased, or they're injured, and all those problems, of course, get caused by not having enough stuff. But life goes on. These will start turning again very, very shortly. And then we'll start pumping automatically. We'll start making planks automatically. We do have stuff ready to go, and there she goes. And nobody died of starvation or of thirst. Even though, okay, two of them were complaining about that. Very good. So once this water gets just a tiny bit deeper, this should turn back on. And once we have planks, that should also turn back on. Rotating here. Obviously need to have more, or any amount of power. Let's go ahead, put in platforms here, and we can start connecting these things up. Remember that the power shafts can be buried underneath water or whatever have you. That is totally viable. These together are producing 130 HP. That is not an insignificant amount of power. I don't think we're going to need to have power go this way, but I'll tell you what we will do is I will put this here just in case. Not going to sit here and wait for that. Just make sure we're in a decent position to take care of all of this stuff. Alright, this is going to help us a lot. Food again. Rice balls completely saving the day now that we have this enormous storage for those. Just have to plant more stuff, and like I know I keep saying it, but that's the way it goes, folks. Got to take one step at a time. Just let the process be the process. But this area back here is going to be a good place for us to have another farm for probably longer growing stuff. If we go ahead and put in an irrigation lodge, it will never have to be the no poison please irrigation. It can just be very, very simple. This will be nice and irrigated, and during bad tide season it's going to be poison anyway. So if I just find a little bit of a better spot, for all of this. I want to make sure I have room for farmhouses next to it also. Okay, I think this is going to be probably the smartest place to do this, right here. And then, of course, farmhouses. One right there. Then this can get exploded here. Let's get these trees out here. Don't want to wait for that. And all of this with a very simple path set up just like so will be taken care of. In fact, we could have this come down this way if we really wanted to, but I don't think we need to worry about that quite so much. Okay, water's going way up. Should help tremendously. Planks are going. Yep, things are looking good. We still have to build more storage, but how the heck did you... Come on, man. Why does this always happen? Get out of here. I swear, these beavers get their directions from like 2010 Apple Maps or something. Please drive directly into the lake. Okay. Wasn't that a plot in the episode of The Office? I don't know. See, this is why I have anxieties about building these things on platforms. Because these stupid beavers always get stuck. Not a thought to be had within their pathetic, empty little brains. But I digress. I'm going to put in a tank over here just for some nice, clean water. Get that taken care of, get that irrigated. I'm not going to even bother cutting these trees down properly. Just get this out of here. This is going to be, like I said, it feels like green peas are going to make the most sense over here. Just because this is such a remote location. And these take 10 days to grow. Remember, that's where we're going to put the other farmhouse eventually. So we'll keep that open. And just grow what we can grow. And this is irrigated what it's going to irrigate. That is going to be totally fine. We can continue blasting this down once we have enough dynamite. And that will be okay. And green peas, just, they take up so much space. So much farming space. So let's go ahead and unplant all of the green peas we have here. Not the pumpkin. We like the pumpkin. But all of these green peas should be sunflowers because this is where we're processing those. And then there's no more green peas over here except this area that was never being worked on anyway because it didn't have room to get to it. So this being changed over to the sunflowers is going to be great. I think there's no more green peas anywhere else on the map. And of course this will end up being very, very, very good. Alright. So this of course is going to be fine just by itself for the time being, but I am going to reserve this other space next to it for the second farmhouse when we get there. So keep in mind, this guy has range all the way over here, and during poison time, sounds like a what a stupid thing to call it. Poison time. It's like, oh, the kids are looking forward to poison time. Like, no. No, like, stop it. Get some help. We don't need to have this path here. But we do need to have this path coming this way. Remember, I'm trying to keep so I can keep putting balloons here. I'm going to leave that space open for more balloons eventually, but now we've got a pretty decent amount of green peas. Remember, we can keep blasting as long as we can make the explosives, but I don't want to use too much because we are... Oh, I guess I have to unpause this now. We are still trying to get the medium mines going. So, seeing how that is a thing, as long as we have... Oh, you know what? We don't have salt. We can't make any more rice balls. Because I was just making the saltpeter, which we're using to make other stuff. Brain boosting salts, we have a decent amount of those. This should be done right now. Oh, 62%? Okay, well at least they haven't been storing additional stuff in there. That's fine. Okay, water's looking really good. We need to build more water storage. I guess I'm gonna have to find some more spots for this. Like, I don't really want to have all this stuff just kind of scattered absolutely everywhere, but we are still, unfortunately, in the position where we don't have a lot of great spots to put things without radically reworking the entire map, more or less. Which at some point probably does need to happen, but will in fact just take time. So what do we have here? Tar. Tar is definitely something that could stand to go in a larger tank. This is a... two tar tanks. Yeah, okay, we'll just dump that. They'll pick it up. Not a big deal. Just mark this. Obviously, if they have nowhere to put it, then they're not going to put it. But putting tar here is probably one of the smarter things we could be doing. The smartest thing we could be doing is just completely redoing all this, but that is not in the cards, I don't think. I don't even ascribe to this stuff. Why do I keep saying that? Regardless, sunflower oil. If we had more sunflowers being pulled out of the ground, then I could justify putting another giant or larger tank, not necessarily a giant one, in. That'd be fine. I think I'm gonna have to keep making these platforms, man. This is already empty. I mean, we have okay, we have a decent amount of scaffoldings. I can always get them back. That's not going to be an issue. I suppose I will just have to put in another tank right here. Probably makes the most sense for it to be water, but we can always change it later. That's fine. A bad water bucketing post. I have 19 vacancies. Oh, well, here's a new one. A new beaver death message. Swam too close to an oversized water pump, disappeared without a trace. Has probably been summoned to the hero of a fantastic other world. Beaver isekai. Okay. Coming soon to underrated, overrated, whatever your feelings are about that near you. I don't know, some of those have been okay, but I feel like it's oversaturated. All right. So, I remember I wanted to make more explosives so I could put in the medium mines, and I keep getting distracted. That's never happened. Because this, I forgot that I had to do something else. All right. Do we at least have? You know what happened? So I don't have a little tank for tar, so they can't pick it up off the ground. Okay. Well, that is now tar storage. So that should be a thing. Hopefully. Yeah, put the tar in the tank, then take it right back out of the tank to put it in the construction site for the new tank. How are we looking here on our green peas? 19%. More of this land has become available for sunflower growing. So away we go, planting more of those. Slowly, friends. Very, very slowly, we are working on solving all of our problems. Alright, so we have all of the methane in theory. What is going on with these pencil sets? What gives? What gives, dude? I need you to get your butt in gear and put some pencil sets in here. Why is this... I have them, they're all right here. Why is this not going? Like, there's no reason why this should not be consuming pencil sets. They're in place. Everything is connected. I built it in the way that it told me I needed to build it. Everything says it's connected. I see no problem, except there are no pencil sets. So, Balloon Trader Landing Pad does not have an option to prioritize by haulers. Do I need to unprioritize this? Is that what was causing this the whole time? I don't know. I don't know that anybody knows. Well, I guess we just kind of leave it alone, see what happens. Okay, I've got my storage for tar. That's for water. This needs to not be tar. This needs to be put back to this stuff. And I need to make this, which uses sunflower oil, which is part of the reason why I was trying not to use it. Pencil sets still being made. This is turned off, but it needs to be making more dynamite. We need to have it anyway. What a mess. I don't know what's going on with the scouting balloon. Like, come on, man. Like, why are you not putting pencil sets in? Okay, you are carrying nothing. Where are you going? Okay, now you're drinking water. Okay, that was always allowed. But where are you going and why are you not... Why are you carrying mountain salt, my dude? That is not your job. That is not delineated in your duties. Okay. Now you're going all the way over here to get bramble flower. Why? Why are you working at the balloon trader landing pad? Why are you doing all these hauling tasks? You're fired. Give me somebody else. Alright. Will you or will you not? Now you're carrying... Oh, come on, man. Alright. Come on, dude. Do I have to change this to 2 HP? I never really understood this in the first place. Give me my pencil sets. Put them in the balloon and send them off to La La Land so I can get my points so I can do everything else I'm trying to do. This is a time-sensitive issue. This is actually causing problems. It needs to be fixed. Alright. I know they can build these from below. I don't trust them not to get stuck, so that's going to have to stay the way it is. See now the food is actually a big problem. Because all of the recipes are bottlenecked. See, mushrooms. Mushrooms are all running. I guess I need to build more of these. Almost certainly do. Okay, well, I don't have a lot of these scaffoldings left, so I guess I will just crapify it up here. And we'll put in all of this stuff. Just build a couple more of them. They can stay on slow mode. Probably should have done that a long time ago. But that also would be a nice way to get us all the way across here. Wow, you stupid idiots. I trusted you. I trusted you not to do this. Ugh, God, I can't even stop them from coming down here because if I take the stairs out, they're just going to be stuck. All right. God, they're never going to stop. They're never going to stop doing it. God. I can't even pause all this either. All right. Well, you know what? You want to be stupid? Go be stupid. I can't stop you. Just come on, man. Like what's going on? Oh, now it shows up? Wait, no, that was already there. I already clicked it. No, I'm just losing my mind. Give me my pencil sets. Put my pencil sets in. Now they're taking the paper out because I told them to take the paper out, and I don't know why that's upsetting me, but put the pencil sets in. All right. Oh God, I hate it when this doesn't work out the way it's supposed to. But we have 1,600 water. It's day 8. Food is precarious, yes, but we are still able to make rice balls. We have a lot of rice balls in storage. We have like 5 straight days worth of rice balls as food. These guys just have to make braised cabbage a little bit quicker. I guess I could make a couple more cooking tents, but I don't have anywhere to put them. The eternal problem. It never ends. So, seeing that, I think what's going to make the most sense is to put in some more platforms here, and then put a second cooking tent next to this. We can leave this tooth grindstone in place. These idiots are hell-bent on walking through poison to build these things. It is what it is. Sunflowers getting planted very slowly. Food recovering very, and I do mean very slowly. But hey, worse things have happened. I need to do more storage. See, like, I say every single time, like, oh, we're going to have a better plan for this episode, but the nature of Waterbeavers just does not allow that to be a thing. Doesn't allow it to be a thing. Okay. I have to get these guys going on some other stuff. I'm going to have to replace these regular water pumps with the faster ones. And I need to get this upgrade. Because this thing here, it's great, but I can't really power any more of them. I can put one here. Actually, that's probably the perfect thing to stick over here. If I had the materials to build it, it's the 200 coal. Actually, no, I have 200 coal. Alright, so this is the part where I accidentally don't make the thing that was going to be perfect to solve all of my problems. Okay. Well... Alright, this is where I have to hit pause just so my brain can think. If I put 2 more of these right here, and I have this all connected, I could have both of these intersect each other. I know this only uses 150 HP, and this is already generating more than that. But if I want to have these actually both going, I could have that connected right there. This does not pass through power. Or I have this, I blast this out 2 pieces here, hook that into there, have both of those connected and have it continue going this way. I think that might actually be the right way to do this. Okay. That's what I'm going to do. And that's going to be the last thing we do today. I know some people get really mad when these videos are long, but I'm trying my best to be nice and not tell you to just deal with it, but honestly, you're just going to have to deal with it. Like, these videos fundamentally do not work if they are not long enough. So, I love you. I care about you. But we absolutely have to do it this way. We absolutely have to. That's the only chance we're going to have. I guess I probably should have this as a 4-way intersection, huh? Okay, well. That's going to have to work just fine. I think they can build all of that. Let's just prioritize this bit and that bit. We know this is going to be a path that will connect here. Just let them take care of that. Now, I know building this on day 9 of a cycle probably is not the smartest thing that's ever been done, but it's going to really increase our production in a way that is not going to cause additional labor to be lost. Just gotta let them do it. And it does, in fact, just take time. Now, I don't think I'm producing enough salt to continue making all of these rice balls all the time, but this does seem to be working okay. This, of course, has not been built yet. They're still working on that. This mess with all the stupid idiots, I guess, is still a thing. Alright. Just get this done. Get it over with. And we can all move on with our lives. Everything's going to be totally fine. This, I will just leave here even though it doesn't have to be there. Actually, no, that's a lie. I'm going to get rid of it. Alright, B for boom. Now I can actually place this pump in right here. It will be connected, and it will be massively, massively overpowered, but it will be able to run, and the only time it would need to run would be during a clean cycle, so that's fine. Alright. That, hopefully, is going to be fine. The amount of tar that I have is not adequate. So, how much nitroglycerin do I have? And is this being used? Okay. It just needs 1 more nitroglycerin and then it can make another batch. And that is being made right now. And that's done. Alright, you're making tar now. I don't have enough sunflower oil to do much of anything with this, but hopefully that will also get solved sooner rather than later. How long are we going? 69% of the way done with those. Okay. Now again, there is the danger that we do have a bad tide coming up soon, and that this will not be able to defend all of them. But if I go ahead and switch this over now, I know we have a ton of pollution resistance factor. We can just go ahead and get this stocked now. If we don't need it, we don't need it. But this has already stopped irrigating. These will die in 0.4 days unless we have pollution resistance factors. So, you want to bring that over, buddy? Be great if you did. Something tells me this may have been a mistake to have this set up this way. Alright. I can only assume they're going over there to get that. I'm actually going to be kind of mad if this ends up killing all this. Okay, 0.2 days. I see somebody coming in here. Okay, bringing that in. Bringing in the water. Where's my pollution resistance factor? Okay, okay, here's this guy. What are you carrying? Good. Not a moment too soon. No, you... Okay. Alright, we lost like 12 of those. Well, at the very least, the construction on this has started. Very slowly. It is what it is. We can let them take care of that. Food is, again, what it is. Just gonna let them take care of that as they can. We've done a lot. We have done a lot. Just as a matter of what we are actually able to sustainably do. Sunflower oil remains an enormous problem. But as long as we can continue making some, as long as we have the screw press axles, which we do, we just have to be able to pull those seeds out of the ground and continue making stuff. The pumpkins... The pumpkins just aren't that important. In fact, I'm going to unplant the pumpkins. I know. I'm going to unplant these pumpkins. And I think that is unfortunately going to be our best option, is to just grow a whole bunch more of this as sunflower seeds. We do still have some, but, you know, they're not the most important thing ever. And here's a bunch of sunflowers coming online. That's good to see. These are growing. Some of them are dead. That is absolutely my fault. But those are 84%. Still have not brought anything in over here. And there's still no pencil sets. What gives? Hello? No paper, no pencil sets, no sky exploration, no nothing. What a tremendous waste of time that was. So hopefully that will get fixed on a reload. I just can't do that right at this exact moment. This is where we're going to have to end this episode, or it's going to be a billion years long. I appreciate you. I really do. This is a challenging, very, very, very challenging game mode, very challenging map for this. Very challenging everything, but we're making it through. Our water problems hopefully have been permanently resolved at this point. We just have to continue, I guess, switching as much over to those automatic pumps as we can. When we can. Obviously it takes a very, very long time for that to happen, but we have put in as much work as we've been able to make that work. And we've got super fertilizing irrigation tower bath blueprints. So that means I can go ahead and start researching the ENS blueprints. The architectural blueprints, that is. The mechanical blueprints have to be made in the mechanics lodge. And those will, of course, take some time. But I believe I have... Yeah, I got a little bit more production on the 10th gear to be able to build this, which that's there, so I can't change that over quite yet, but that is something we need to start working toward, and then at some point, when all of these sunflower seeds and everything start catching up and we can actually produce all of the foods that we've been trying to make this whole time, then everything's going to be just fine. But it's just a lot of moving parts, a lot of stuff that has to happen, so I really do appreciate your patience, of course, Beard Boosters, subsidizing, making it possible to keep doing this currently 3 days a week. I don't know how much longer, like, personally sustainable that is for me to be doing this daily for, like, this and all of 2025. It's very, very demanding. I know it seems kind of dumb for me to be coming out and saying that because, oh, this is it's a fun job. Like, well, yeah, but it's still a job. It takes a whole lot of time, and I don't know. I might have to dial it back a little bit coming up here pretty soon. That is part of the reason why I did the colony submission stuff. I opened that back up because those are videos I can just record whenever I have spare time, and then pop that up if for whatever reason something comes up and I can't make a video, or I just decide that I need to take a break or something. Trust me, that is going to be coming. But I am doing my best to power through and get as much of this done as we can, because we're just having a great time with it. So please do consider submitting your colonies or your playthroughs or whatever to those if there's something that you're particularly proud of and you'd like to showcase. I can't promise we're going to do all of them, but I do look at all of them, and I will pick my favorites and put them up on the channel, and you get to, I guess, brag in the comments, say, hey, look, that's my stuff. I built that. That's really cool. And some of the stuff you guys have submitted so far is looking pretty nice. I am working on getting those recorded, ready to go for whenever a time exists that I can or need to put that up. But regardless, that's the end of this one. Whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you back again soon for more beavers. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.